Hello and welcome back to Cutleaf. My name is Scott and I run my own production company in the southwest of England. So in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to edit your drone photography ready for print. Now this video is primarily for the Mavic Mini 1 and 2, but it can also be applied to other drones such as the Mavic Air 1, 2, Mavic Pro, Zoom 2, etc. and so on. And before I start the video, I just wanted to throw it out there that I am not a professional editor in Lightroom and Photoshop. I'm just showing you my workflow, my tips and tricks, and what I do to get it from computer to physical print. That's all I'm showing you. If you want to learn more about Lightroom and Photoshop, there is a library of free videos out there that you can find, and I'll link a couple below in the description box. So I'm going to be showing you how to edit something like this into something like this. It's a fairly simple process, but a lot of you have been asking how I edit my photos, so I thought I'd make a tutorial video showing you my step-by-step process. I'm just going to pop a couple of other photos on the screen so you can see a few other photos as well. So yeah, they're the sort of photos that I'll be showing you how to edit in future videos as well. And all of them are taken, I'm going to remind you, on the Mavic Mini. It's not the 2, it's still the Mavic Mini original. That's what all the photos you've just seen are on. If anyone tells you you need a higher end drone to do commercial work or make a business, tell them to do one, because I have done everything on that little guy and I haven't invested in another drone yet. I will be getting the 2, but not just yet. Anyway, jumping into the video, let's get started. So what we're going to do first, we're just going to click add photos, find our folder, there we go, and I'm going to use these photos just here. So what we have here is 3 images, and each image has 3 photos. Now I'll just take you through it. So the first image that we have is the highlights of the photo, then we've got the shadows, then we've got the mid-tones. Now because the Mini 1 only shoots JPEG, we haven't got as much information as what a RAW file would have. So what we have here is 3 photos, and each photo has 3 images. Now the reason we've done this is because the Mini 1 only shoots JPEG files and not RAW. If you have RAW, you probably don't have to do the 3 images, but it just helps us in the post process with the Mini 1. So the reason I've done this is because I want to capture the highlights of the photograph, the shadows of the photograph, and the mid-tones, and I've done that for each one. So we've got the bottom part of the photograph, rolled the camera up, we've taken the mid part of the photograph, rolled up, and we've taken the sky and a little bit of the background. So we're going to start by highlighting the 3 same images of the photo, just as I've done here, and we're going to go photo merge, HDR merge. Okay, so now what this has done is put all the images together, which means that we can play with the highlights, we can play with the shadows, we've got more information in this photo. You can also click apply auto settings and let Lightroom do some work for you, but we're just going to leave that unchecked. So go ahead and click merge. So that's the first one. I'm just going to speed up the process and get all of them done. Okay, there you go. So all of them have been merged together. Now what you'll see is we have the 3 photos, but in each photo we have 3 images that have the highlights, shadows, and mid-tones. I'm just going to quickly zoom in and show you. The quality's okay. It's not bad. But once all of these have been done, we're going to highlight all 3, and then we're going to go photo merge again. But now instead of HDR, we're going to click panorama merge. And what Lightroom does is puts it all together like so. So now we have a lovely portrait shot. However, it's very dark and we need to brighten this up. Now, like I said earlier, we can click apply auto settings. This hasn't actually done a bad job. Sometimes it overexposes, or it's a bit noisy, or it's a bit saturated, or a bit too contrasty. But this is actually not a bad start, so I'm going to go ahead with that one. You can also choose between spherical, cylindrical, or perspective. Perspective is okay, I use it sometimes, but most of the time I use spherical. I mean, that's still quite nice, and I'm not going to go for that today. I'm going to go for spherical still. And what we're going to do, we're going to auto crop it down as well, just to get rid of those horrible white lines that has parts of the image missing, and click merge. And now what we have is 9 photos in one image. So that's a lot of information. Now we can start playing around with the highlights, the shadows, the colors, and so on. It's your creative flair from here on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost the shadows even more, like so. Probably play around with the highlights. I really like the color of the water in here, so I'm going to go to this one, and like I said, this bit is entirely up to you guys about how you want to edit your photo. Okay, so once you've had a play with the settings in the photo, now you can go down on Lightroom and you'll see detail and you'll see noise. So at the moment, we have a little bit of noise in the water. So we're just going to go ahead, put it up, and just reduce that slightly. So I'll show you before and show you after. There you go. And what that does is just smooth the photo out. We're going to come back out. So I'm just going to quickly show you before and after. That's what we have at the moment. And again, before, after, and let's go down here. Before, after. I'm actually quite happy with this now. I'm going to go ahead and click File and Edit in Photoshop. Okay, so as you can see, it's opened up in Photoshop. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and click Command J. Go ahead and click your healing brush tool, and now this is when I do a lot of the cleaning up of the image. So anything I don't like, anything distracting in the image that sort of pulls my eye that I don't want it to, I'll just go ahead and sort of get rid of that. So the first thing we're going to do is, let's make sure that we put that normal. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and clean up all of the debris in the sea, because it's very distracting and it's not that attractive. Okay, so there you go. You sort of get the idea. I've just sort of cleaned up the sea there, got rid of all the debris just to make it a little bit prettier on the eye. We haven't done anything drastic. We've just changed the photo ever so slightly. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and click Option, Command, Shift, and E. So what I'm going to do next, again, is I'm going to go onto Selective Color. And I'm going to play around with the color again, as we did in Lightroom. But this is just very nitpicky. And the first thing we're going to do is go to the greens. And again, there's no right or wrong. We're just going to edit it to how we prefer. So I'm just going to show you the before and after from that. There you go. So again, it's very minute detail, but it's just something that I like to do in Photoshop. And again, we're going to go ahead and click Option, Command, Shift, and E. I'm not sure what that is on Windows, so sorry for being helpless. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go and add 2 curves adjustment layers. The first one we're going to do is hit multiply, and we're going to go Command I, and then we're going to go onto screen and hit Command I there. And we're going to go ahead and click the brush tool. And we're going to reduce the opacity of the brush up the top here to around 15%. So what we're going to do here, we're going to play around with the shadows and highlights. So we're going to make certain things pop. So we're going to sort of bring out those shadows a little bit more. And then we're also going to brighten up those highlights just to bring a bit more contrast and depth into the photo. Make sure we're on white. And let's start with the highlights. So I'm just going to start brushing over very roughly over some of the areas where the sun is hitting. So we're going to enlarge the brush, just go over the sky sort of area. There you go. Okay, and now for the shadows. So some of the reflections in the water, quite nice. So let's just bring some of that out as well. There we go. Like I said, very rough. Nice. sort of under the tunnel here, some of the building work, especially this area. Just want to bring that down slightly. It's a nice little highlight on the building there. Let's bring that out. Something around here. Like I said, very rough, just sort of skimming over parts where I see those shadows from the sun. There you go. So I'll just quickly show you what it was like before adding the curves adjustment layers. That's with it on, that's with it off. Again, like I said, it's just bringing out those small details in the image that really make it pop. And then the highlights come up here. There you go. And again, we're going to go ahead, once you're happy with that, and go Option, Command, Shift and E. Now for the final stages of the process. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try to reduce some of that noise even more if you're printing this photo. I'm just going to zoom in and show you some of the details still that you have in the image from the Mini 1. So you can read the signs on the buildings. You know, you can clearly see the structure. It's not awful. If we want to reduce that noise even more, what we're going to do is go to Filter, Noise and Reduce Noise. Wait for it to load. I usually go for Strength 10. Preserve the details around, 3/4 of the way. Go ahead and click OK. And then again, this just smoothens the image even more. So when it's printed, you've got no horrible grain anywhere, or just makes it a lot cleaner. So my camera died at this point and I didn't realise until towards the end of the video. So I'm just going to do a voiceover. But as you can see, as I zoom in, the image is a lot smoother and a lot cleaner. And last but not least, if you click image up the top and then go onto image size, as I just did, and change the resolution on the pixels an inch to 300, and this increases the image size. So go ahead once you're happy and click OK. When you come to the export screen, as you can see here, you can see the width, the height, the scale, the size of the image over to the left. Go ahead, click export, save that one there. Go off, and there you go. So there you have it. That's how I edit my photos. It's a very simple process. Each edit will change considering on what photo I've taken. So something might need more work, there might be more distractions, or I might have to edit twice as hard to really bring out some of the details from the Mini, but it's possible. So I'm just going to quickly run you through the step-by-step process one more time. So here's the end image again. Here's the before photos. So remember, HDR merge each image from the photos, then panorama merge them in Lightroom, and then edit how you want, take it into Photoshop, follow a few of my steps, and happy days. So if you like the video, please give it a big thumbs up and hit the sub button. Next week, we're going to be looking at how to start your own business on Etsy, how to market your business. I'll also be starting some POV sessions on the drone to show you in flight how I take my photos through to the editing process. So they'll be quite lengthy, but they'll be quite insightful, and they should be very useful to you. So yeah, once again, thanks again guys. Big thumbs up, hit the sub button below, and I'll see you next week for more tutorials. I'll see you then.